January 24th, 2020.
This is Nerd Bourbon episode 138. I'm Seth Sturgill.
And I'm the birthday boy. No, I swear.
I was going to say, happy birthday, Todd. It is your birthday at the time of this recording.
Yes.
You, how do you feel? Do you feel 80?
I've been feeling 80 for like the last 6 years.
I had to think for a second. When did I start working? Pretty much. Just do that math. You doing anything? Here, let me ask you this: is anything special happening for your birthday today?
I had some pizza.
Yes.
And some rib tips.
Yes.
Some cheese fries.
This all sounds good so far.
And we'll end it with some cheesecake later on.
I see. Food makes any birthday worthwhile, Todd.
Well, here's my thing. My birthday. I think we're in the same boat with it. We personally don't really give a shit about it.
Once you turn once you turn 21, your birthday really stops mattering.
Well, it stopped mattering for me even like earlier than that.
Well, yeah, but I mean, even outside of like the whole edgelord, like my birthday doesn't matter to me. Even outside of that. I mean, just like literally, just like because I'm the same way as you. It's just another day for me too. But it's also, I mean, just from an actual mechanical standpoint,
it's just a day.
After you turn 21, it kind of doesn't matter, and then after you turn 25, it really doesn't matter because then at that point you can rent cars and your insurance doesn't modify itself anymore. So just, from a mechanical standpoint, after you turn 25, really your birthday doesn't matter.
Yep.
But happy birthday all the same, Todd. We just got back from PAX South 2020 mere days ago. It's a little weird going snapping back to reality. Oh, there goes gravity, as Emblem would say. Have you found it weird? Have you found it weird to kind of like slump back into normalcy?
I wouldn't say weird. It's just I'm just kind of like slipped back into my regular like off day routine because I'm not back at work yet.
Yeah.
And it's just a thing. I'm back. I feel a little down because I miss we had a lot of fun. I miss that shit.
It was a good trip.
But
yeah. It's one of those things. Every time I have like some sort of like trip or vacation or something like that, or especially if I go to a PAX or some sort of convention, I always get that sort of like post-trip blues, where I'm just like, remember when life was really good for like 5 days?
Yeah.
And now it's just back to the normal bullshit, the normal grind. But we'll certainly get into all of that. We're going to kind of do this episode a little bit differently. We're kind of getting back into the swing of it. This episode will start as a normal episode. We're going to cover a little bit of the news that happened while we were gone. We're going to talk about a little bit of what we've been playing, but then we're going to... The meat of this episode, though, will be about the trip. So I sort of wanted to get like a normal episode at the front. And then like if people weren't interested in hearing about our trip, they could dip out at that point. But if you are... The meat of this episode will be us talking about the trip. So, a little bit of housekeeping before we get into that. So, we did just get back from PAX South, and as I said on the show many, many times, we brought pins with us there. We ended up bringing 250 pins with us. I took inventory of them this morning. I had some people online inquire about what they could do to get their hands on a pin if they were not at the show and received free ones. So, as it turns out, we got rid of 202 of those pins at the show.
Shit.
So, we have 48 left. I will be making those available to purchase online at a later date. I don't have the exact details yet on that. I don't know exactly how I'm going to go about that. I don't know how much I'm going to charge for them. I don't really plan on charging too much for them because that really wasn't the point. We didn't make these pins to make money. So, but yeah, so essentially, I'm going to figure that out, and I will certainly announce on the show the avenue that you can take to get your hands on one of our pins if you were not at PAX South. So if you guys were at PAX South and you're tuning in, hello, welcome to the fold. It was good to meet you. I had a couple of people that reached out to me on Twitter that enjoyed our pins and that kind of joined the Nerd Bourbon family. I met shout outs to Evan. I met Evan on the show floor and talked to him for a couple of minutes and gave him his pin and everything, and it was just kind of cool. It was a minor thing. I mean, it was a pretty packed show for us. We did a lot this year, but that was kind of a nice little highlight, is getting some Nerd Bourbon pins out in the wild and see these sort of like, you could tell people were kind of Googling us and finding our SoundCloud, finding our Twitter and all that stuff. Yeah. So that was cool. Anyway, Todd, you're home. You're unwinding. The PAX energy is leaving your body. What have you been doing? How have you been coping with the post-PAX blues?
I've been tossing a coin to my Witcher.
Toss a coin. And you've been doing that. I remember you were telling me you binge watched the first season of the show.
Yes.
Been playing a bunch of the game.
Yep. And I mean, what can I say about the game other than like I'm enjoying it? It's a great game. It actually, playing The Witcher 3, I think I said this like maybe on the last like real episode, was like or maybe I've just said it off recording to you, is playing Witcher 3 has actually hyped me up even more for Cyberpunk.
Oh, we'll talk about Cyberpunk a little bit later on the show.
I know. but it's like just seeing like the quality of game, you know what I mean?
Right.
Just knowing the amount of work that they've put in, like I'm just even more hyped for what Cyberpunk is going to do. Other than that, it's like shit. I've just been, taking my time, fucking around in The Witcher, doing side quests, enjoying myself, And other than that, been playing a little bit of Call of Duty.
Yeah.
Kind of got back into that a little bit.
There's nothing wrong with
that. Actually played a little shit. At the time of this recording, played a game with you like yesterday. Played a couple games yesterday.
Yeah, we chilled out on some Call of Duty.
And it actually got me back into using a weapon that I used to use when I first started playing the game, which is the EBR-14. And been using that again, especially now that I got the sniper scope. And I'm doing filthy things with it.
Oh, God.
Filthy little things.
Oh, no. I don't like the imagery that this projects.
It's not good. I've been rocking some people with it. It's been a lot of fun because it actually like the aim down sight time, the ADS time on that is like fucking stupid. It's like I'm walking around. You can quick scope, but the main reason I even like using like the semi-auto marksman rifle versus like an actual sniper rifle is, don't get me wrong, snipers are fun in that game. I think that if you actually like give it the time of the day, it's like pretty fun to actually sit around and use like the AXR-50 or whatever. It's fun weapon. No, I'm not gonna like deny that, but there's something just beautiful about spraying a motherfucker down with a fucking EBR. Because I'm an asshole.
God bless.
And I'm playing. I kind of find myself playing Modern Warfare similar to how I used to play Battlefield 3 actually, where like I actually used kind of like a DMR sort of setup, like a marksman rifle versus a sniper rifle to be more aggressive, because that's just how I like to snipe nowadays. I still like that accuracy that a marksman rifle brings, but there's also something about like you can do more with those semi-autos. You can be more on the front line, be more into the thick of shit. That's why I prefer them. And you can still one-shot if you get headshots and stuff, because with the EBR at least. I know the other ones can get one-shot kills, but I'm using the initial one, which is the EBR, essentially the M21 from like the older games, or the M14. And it's a lot of fun. Been fucking around with that. Want to level up my P90. I was talking about that with you before we even started recording. But yeah, it's been a good time.
Just a little cocktail there of Witcher and Call of Duty.
Yeah, really. It's really what I've been dealing with.
Yeah.
That's probably what I'm going to be really playing shit for like the foreseeable future. Because I don't know. Because like Monster Hunter. Cue the music. No, I'm just.
No. That's surprise butt sex.
Because my thing with Monster Hunter at this point is like, I mean, like maybe when an update happens. I mean, I know like there's like the Appreciation Fest or some shit going on. I just don't care.
Yeah.
Like I'm kind of good on Monster Hunter maybe until like they add like a new monster. So I gotta kind of keep my toes in the game a little bit, kind of like pay attention to some like maybe like Twitter or something. Yeah, like I'm kind of like done with Monster Hunter. I kind of like augmented all my shit, kind of got like my build set up. If I gave a shit about getting my hunter rank to like 999 or whatever, like the 999 on both things, I'm like, yeah, maybe, but I don't care. That's not something I really give a shit about. I did see that was my most played game.
That doesn't shock me at all.
Yeah, not at all. Was it that PSN shit that they sent out?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually ended up putting more hours into my Switch than my PS4.
I didn't realize that I put a good amount of hours in Borderlands 3, apparently.
How many?
It's like I had 100 plus.
Holy shit.
I was like, what?
You must have played quite a bit of it after we stopped playing, because I only had I think it was only 40.
I don't know what. I mean, I know I played a little bit with Tyler occasionally, and then I played a little bit by myself. But I did not realize I put in 110 hours or some shit. I was like, what?
That's kind of crazy. Yeah.
I did not see that coming, but I think it was like my third or something. I don't remember. I would have to bring that email out, but I just don't care that much. I'm trying to think of
Yeah, I think my top one was Assassin's Creed Odyssey, which I spent 150 something hours in.
Yeah, you got to pump them numbers up to see what my Monster Hunter
was. I'm sure, yeah. Well, yeah, again, most of my gaming time this past year was on Switch.
Yeah.
So
I'm trying to think of because that's basically going to be what I'm going to be playing for the foreseeable future. Though, like Monster Hunter and not Monster Hunter, but The Witcher and Call of Duty. This is something I have been debating on actually re-downloading For Honor. I've been in that headspace because I kind of want to that game's fun. It's still a fun game to me. I just like getting into the mood to do some of that medieval combat shit.
Yeah, feel that. I feel like I can draw some corollaries between your sort of cocktail and mine, because the way you are with Monster Hunter is kind of where I'm at with Pokemon.
Mm-hmm.
Where I've done pretty much literally everything I care to do in Pokemon at this point. I'm right around 100 hours, and I'm pretty much good on Pokemon at this point, to where I'm just kind of waiting for DLC now.
Dude, I was sitting there in the hotel room, and I'm like, this man's still playing it.
There were still things to do at that time. There's still Pokemon to level up, Todd.
Disgusting.
But no, so I got that done, and I'm still chipping away slowly at Dragon Quest, which is kind of going to be my main game now. Kind of like how The Witcher is for you. On the side, I just started up a new playthrough of Darksiders 3 last night, and I'm kind of dabbling into that on the side. And the reason for that is because we were looking at the kind of upcoming games of the next month or so, and really the only thing coming out that we're going to be interested in is Darksiders Genesis, which we're both really looking forward to. And I'm kind of it kind of had me thinking you know what, I never even finished Darksiders 3, so let me go back and kind of go back to that. So I'm kind of doing that in Dragon Quest, and that's kind of going to be my thing for the foreseeable future. And then when Darksiders comes out, I'm going to play that, and then that's kind of it until Animal Crossing, really. So yeah, that's kind of my early spring. I'm still waiting on that sweet Nintendo Direct to come and let me know the video games I'm going to be playing this year. I think it's going to happen soon. It's funny the way they did it, man, because we're going to talk about this a little bit later in the show, but once we get into our news, but I swear to God, I feel like there was absolutely going to be a January Direct. But then, I feel like there's so much shit that they're going to cover. They're like, hey, you know what? Let's give Pokemon its own Direct. Let's announce the new Smash Fighter and its own thing. I feel like they're segmenting this stuff because when they do have their Direct ready, there's going to be a lot of news in it. So, it's probably going to happen in February at this point. Early February. But now I'm when this shit does happen, it's going to be pretty chock full of content. I think it's going to have a lot of major news when this Direct finally happens. We're hearing some rumors about possibly a new 2D Metroid game. We're hearing rumors about Xenoblade Chronicles Remastered might be coming out as early as May it's looking like, and there's a lot. There's rumors that they're not gonna. I think I was telling you, I kind of speculated that maybe they would port Paper Mario Color Splash. No, it sounds like they're making an all new one.
Okay.
So there's some substantial rumors that point to some pretty major Nintendo game announcements coming on the horizon. But that's pretty much all I've been doing. I've been kind of decompressing with some Dragon Quest and some Darksiders 3 and going back to that, and that's really about it for me. Swear to God, I'm just like, I'm ready for Animal Crossing to sweep me away.
Oh, God.
I'm ready. I'm ready to go on that island adventure.
I swear to God, I feel like how you feel about Monster Hunter talk.
Oh no, I'm not gonna come on here every week with some Animal Crossing talk. No.
Oh, thank God.
No, see, I understand.
See, Monster Hunter talk is interesting. No, I'm just playing.
I understand where the Venn diagram of my interests and the audience interests. I understand where they meet and where they don't.
I feel bad sometimes when I was doing the Monster Hunter talk. I get really when my brain would just continuously go further down the rabbit hole and start talking about like the real stat based shit.
Just the real nerdy shit.
It was not good, and I admit that, and I do apologize
for the months of that I subjected everybody to.
And the months that will continue. No, I'm just.
It's no worries. I did trim some of that fat, but I could only do so much.
You can't trim it all.
No.
There's a lot of fat.
No. Anyway, Todd, are you prepared to dive into some news?
Yeah, let's do it.
So, a couple things have been happening while we've been gone, and we're going to cover some of that. We got a little bit of Sony news to start off with. So, Kotaku reports that 2017's PS4 exclusive Horizon Zero Dawn will make its way to PC this year. So, what do you think about this, Todd?
I mean, I think that's cool. I mean, I don't like have an issue with it.
I mean, neither do I. It's funny because people are like, "Oh, like, does this mean that like, you know, it doesn't matter that you're a PS4 exclusive anymore?" Because of course they had Death Stranding is also coming to PC later this year. It hasn't been officially confirmed, I should say, that Horizon is coming. I think we can probably file it in the likely category, though.
I mean, I don't know. I think there's something about like getting it out on other things. I don't know. I just have no issue with it.
I think you're probably going to see this happen sometime around April, because that's when Horizon is going to be removed from the PlayStation Now service. And just think about it this way. It's nothing but a good thing for Horizon as an IP.
Yeah, to get other people's hands on that game.
Like, dude, like PS4 has extracted all of the value out of that game. You can get that game for like $10 now. The game's been out for a little over 3 years, I think now, and like it's done on PS4. It's sold, I think, over 10 million copies on PS4. So why not come out on PC, possibly sell 1 million or two more? Because you know people are going to have fun with that game. The way it's going to run on PC, that game's going to be gorgeous. And like it's going to be like gorgeous 60 frames on PC. The mods people are going to be able to do on PC. I mean, this game is going to move units on PC, and it draws a larger audience for when PS5 rolls around, and you are going to have an inevitable Horizon 2. You know, so there are no downsides to this, folks. And again, there's already a precedent for it, because I think even didn't God of War come to PC?
Did it?
Or either that, or you could like play it on your PC or something like that. There's some sort of way you can play God of War on PC. Like, I don't know if it's officially supported or if it's one of those weird things where it's PS Now streaming to your PC. But I remember that was a thing that was going around. Like, look at how good God of War looks running on PC. Maybe it was some, like, jailbreak shit. I don't know. But we're starting to see Sony games crop up on PC. And it's not necessarily a bad thing.
Maybe there's a PS4 emulator, apparently.
That's what I'm saying, because like they did that with Breath of the Wild also, where they have Breath of the Wild emulated on PC, and like it like looks and runs really well and blah blah blah. So anyway, this is a good thing. Try not to freak out about it. Speaking of Sony, the company will be skipping E3 for the second year in a row. which is honestly, this came as a little bit of a surprise to me, given that this is the year of PS5. I was like, okay, I thought they were going to kind of... I knew they were going to do like their own events, of course, but I was also sort of like...
I mean, here's my thing. This just hurts E3 more than it hurts them.
Oh, of course, yeah.
And it's like, shit.
It continues to call into question how relevant E3 really is.
It's like, at this point, like, almost not at all. It's like, fuck.
Basically. So, yeah, so the company has said that it will instead be present at, quote, hundreds of events, end quote, throughout the course of the year, no doubt including several of its own. Remember that PS4 was revealed in similar fashion. It was not revealed on a big, expensive E3 stage. PS4 was revealed at Sony's own small event. So, I fully expect that to happen with PS5 as well. And if you remember, I want to say the PS4 reveal event was in February. I think it was February 2013 that happened. So we may actually get a full, proper reveal of PS5 very soon. If we look at that as a precedent, it could be very possible that we get a proper look at PS5 soon. So, again, E3's relevance kind of seeming to dwindle year after year. Remember that Microsoft is also kind of distancing themselves from E3.
Yeah.
They held their conference last year at the like LA Live stage that was like next door to E3 or some shit like that. And there was also the ESA hack that happened last year, which resulted in the leaking of like personal information of thousands of like media and press and all that. So that's funny. So, Kotaku actually kind of pressed the ESA about this, and they promised that E3 will still be relevant thanks to new initiatives that they're calling activations, which seem to be experiential exhibits, although they did not elaborate on exactly what that means. So they're basically saying like, no, E3 is still going to be cool. Still come to E3. We're going to have these experiences there that are going to... I don't think that's going to save you guys. The games aren't going to be there.
Yep.
They also did say that they have committed to fully reworking their network security so that data won't be compromised again, and that they're going to collect as minimal like personal info from people as possible to fly them out there. But yeah, it's kind of a shit show. The whole E3 thing is kind of a shit show, and it seems to matter less and less.
There's something sad about that, though, you know?
Oh, there is.
Like, shit.
I mean, E3 is typically a really exciting time.
Well, no, I remember, like, even when I was in, like, high school, like, I used to be, it's E3's going on. I'm like, I can't wait, shit, get home, watch it, or whatever.
Yeah, watch the press conferences and stuff.
Now I'm like, it's like, whatever.
I think you're still going to get that, but again, it's not going to be at E3. It's going to be these companies holding their own events.
Yeah.
Nintendo still kicks around E3, and I wonder when they're just going to say, fuck it. I mean, they haven't had a stage presence at E3 in years. Like, in years. I think it was like, 2011 or 2012 or something like that, when Nintendo just said, fuck it, we're doing Nintendo Direct. So, I mean, they haven't had a stage presence in a long time, but they usually blow out their big E3 booth and everything like that and have their games there to play and stuff. So, they still do come to E3 and they do their Treehouse live streams and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And I'll miss that if that goes away. But, I don't know. We'll see. We will see, but it is clear that E3 is becoming less and less of a factor as the years
I wonder
go
if it's
on.
it's probably honestly just like a money thing instead of spending all that money on the E3 or whatever.
Well, it is a money thing, and it's also not only that, but I mean, you got to think of all these other events that happen, all the different PAXs and all the different, the Gamescom and the Paris Games Week and I mean, there's like 100 events that happen throughout the course of the year. You can't go to them all.
And I think we've said this with like video games. It's like something's got to be the loser. Yeah.
You can't go to them all. E3 is like the most expensive one, and the sort of like I guess the advantage used to be that like E3 was really big. You were going to get global like media coverage. You would see E3 talked about on like Fox News and shit like that. But as gaming has become less of a niche thing, as gaming has kind of become more of a thing that everybody does.
Yeah.
like the vast majority, especially in America, the vast majority of people play games in some way. And E3 has become less of a sort of like niche haven of gaming news. It's not really a thing anymore. We don't, in other words, we don't need to be at E3 to speak to our audience. So why would we? So I think that's ultimately what it boils down to. So I hinted at this earlier on in the show, but earlier this week, Todd, there was a disturbance in the force. As if a million games cried out in terror and were suddenly silenced. Todd, it is video game delay season, and many have fallen.
Oh, buddy.
Many have fallen. Shall we run down the list?
Do it, sweet boy.
So, Square Enix announced delays for both Final Fantasy VII Remake and Marvel's The Avengers. Mm-hmm. Final Fantasy VII was delayed from March 3rd to April 10th. Not a bad delay. That's a little over a month. And honestly, the fans don't really seem too upset by it. I'm not upset by it. While The Avengers was moved from May to September. Much more significant. Sounds like that game just needs more time in the oven. Hashtag Seth was right. I knew that game was going to get delayed. There's no way it was going to make May. I was surprised that they announced a release date for it last E3. So yeah, I knew that was going to get delayed. More surprising, though, is Cyberpunk 2077, which previously held an April release date. It has now been delayed to September 17th. This was a shocking one to me. I mean, I'm not surprised that CD Projekt delayed it as much as I'm surprised that, like, CD Projekt, these guys are very much a kind of like it's done when it's done kind of group.
Yeah. Yep.
And they've been working on this game for such a long time, and like since even before The Witcher 3 came out, they've been working on this game for fucking forever. And like, I'm surprised that they confidently came out and they said, "Oh yeah, April last E3." I was like, okay, if they're giving a release date, they're gonna make it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm surprised. I'm surprised to see that. It was...
I feel like they're just perfectionists.
No, I think so too. Yeah.
Yeah. So.
And I think these are the kind of things that make their games stand out. And you know, it's the same thing as like Rockstar. Like if they can delay these games, you know, a few months to extract 1% of quality, basically, they're going to. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, look, just make the game as good as possible. We'll be here when it comes out. The one that hurts me the most, though, Todd, is Dying Light 2.
Yeah, because I was just hearing shit like indefinitely. I'm like, oh.
Yes. So it was previously scheduled to release this spring. It now has no release date. It has been delayed indefinitely.
And that is definitely a game that the both of us was looking forward to.
It was it was high when we did our algorithm. That game was high up.
Yeah.
So that was a major disappointment for me. I understand though. I mean, look, here there are pros and cons to all of this. So like, first of all, no game was ever made worse by being delayed, right?
Nope.
More time to polish is always a good thing. However, as Kotaku points out, Jason did an article about this. Jason Schreier, the Oracle over at Kotaku. More time does not necessarily mean that crunch is avoided. In fact, it can normally it means more crunch, which isn't a good thing, obviously. On a personal level, I'm kind of happy about most of this because it frees up some space for me in what was looking like it was going to be a crowded spring.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we talked about this several times on the show. You know, the dreaded March 2020 is no longer so dreaded. You know?
It's just March now.
Yeah, March doesn't really have that much going for it anymore. March is pretty much now just the month of, like, Neo, Doom, and Animal Crossing. Whereas before it also had Final Fantasy, and it also had Watch Dogs and Cyberpunk right on its heels. So now there's just not much coming out in the spring, which is good. Allows time for these other games to breathe. It's a good thing, ultimately. I'm not complaining about anything except Dying Light, because again, Dying Light, it's like they don't know when that's coming out. So this was something. So we actually had this happen Literally, like on the first day, like I think it was actually right when we got to our hotel in San Antonio. That first morning, we had that Smash Brothers presentation, right? I think we were like, all right, we might as well watch it together. I think it was Thursday morning, wasn't it?
Yeah, Thursday
I
morning.
think yeah, I think it was Thursday
Yep.
morning. We're like, all right, let's watch this shit. And dude, it's so funny. So obviously the news is already out there about who the character is, but it was so funny watching this presentation because Sakurai was like making it sound like it was going to be this big epic announcement. He's like, oh, like this fighter isn't going to be immediately available like all the other ones were because it was such a big secret. People at Nintendo were shocked when I told them that this was going to be the fighter. And I was getting ready for a really hype announcement.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, I don't know if Sakurai was just trolling us or what, because what ended up happening was they revealed that the next Smash Brothers character, the final fighter in the Fighter Pass, is Byleth from Fire Emblem Three Houses.
I knew it would happen.
I knew it would happen eventually, but I didn't know it would happen now. I knew that eventually look, there are certain things that are just sure bets. You knew that they were going to have representation for the latest Fire Emblem game, and they will for sure in the next Challenger Pack. They're going to have a Pokemon from Sword and Shield. That's just going to happen. Like that's there's no doubt in my mind that that's going to happen. But you look at the rest of this Fighter Pass, and it's all like amazing third-party support. Like it's all these like dream characters. It's Joker, it's Hero, it's Banjo, it's Terry. And then you end it with Byleth?
Damn straight.
It's just so like, and the fan community is already really like upset about it. Look, I'm happy for the Fire Emblem fans, for the Three Houses fans. It's cool that this character's in there. And for what it's worth, the character looks fun.
No, he looks like he's shit. I'm gonna fuck with him.
They look fun. Like, really interesting. It's not just another sword user because technically they can use like 4 different weapons.
It's like different, like like a bow and axe.
There's like a bow and axe and like a pole
spear.
arm or something like that.
Yeah, lance or some shit.
Really cool looking. They look fun. I don't know. I was just a little bit like shocked that we were getting that now. I thought that it was going to be a really hype, ending character to this amazing third-party Fighter Pass, and nope, it's just a Fire Emblem character. And it's funny too because I wasn't the only one when the trailer started who thought that it was going to be a swerve. A lot of people were sort of expecting that. I saw this video on YouTube where they compared the from the Nintendo store in New York when the presentation was being shown. You see all these people freaking out about Banjo and like Joker and like just losing their shit. And then you compare it to the announcement of Byleth, and they're just kind of like, It's just the meh heard around the world. I mean, look, I'm still going to mess with them. It's coming out January 28th. And, look, it is what it is. I'm just surprised that they're taking this tact with it. We also it is worth noting that also in this presentation, it was like a 30-something minute presentation where he really, just like all the other characters, he really sort of like did a deep dive into their moveset and talked about Fire Emblem as a Fire Emblem as a whole and everything, and that was all cool. The coolest news about this entire thing for me, not being crazy about the Byleth announcement, was the fact that we're getting a second Fighter Pass, which we already sort of knew. We knew that more DLC was coming, but it is actually going to be in a second Fighter Pass, this time with 6 fighters. So that's really cool. And it's going to be $29.99, available to pre-order, I think, when Byleth comes out on the 28th. Also available on the 28th is going to be some new Mii costumes, which it's fine. There's like some Mega Man ones. There's an Altair one from like Assassin's Creed. But the coolest one is the Cuphead one, because it's a lot like what they did with Sans for Undertale, where like they basically made Cuphead a fighter in the game. Like they changed the way, like he's a gunner, but he like shoots with his finger, like he does, like Cuphead does in the game.
Mm-hmm.
And like, short of having a unique moveset, it essentially is like Cuphead is in the game, and it includes, just like Sans did, it includes its own music track. So, really cool to see that. I'm definitely buying that. So that's all coming on January 28th. I don't know. Just seems like we're ending this fighter pass with a little bit of a whimper to me.
I don't know. It definitely is ending with a fucking whimper, dude. It's bad.
And it's weird too. It's weird too from like the amiibo collectors community, because this is actually the first time where we have not known what the next wave of amiibo is going to be. This is the first time in years where we have no idea what's coming next, because at this point, so last Friday, the Dark Samus and Richter amiibo were released. And so now all of the base amiibo for Smash Ultimate are released. The only characters that do not have amiibo at this point are DLC characters. Mm-hmm. And Sakurai technically has never said that the DLC characters would get amiibo, although it would be weird if they don't. I think they will. But we're in this weird kind of Twilight Zone with amiibo right now. So I'm just like, it's time for a direct, you guys. This is getting a little fucking ridiculous now. It's time for a direct. We need all this. We need you to drop your news dick on us. We need it. We need to know about amiibo. We need to know about games. We need to know about these Switch Pro rumors. It's time, damn it. Anyway. Todd, that's pretty much what I have for the news. I think that covers... There may be some small things that I missed, but I think these were the major things that have happened during the break.
Did you see this shit just came? It went live today, apparently.
What's that?
Is Ninja Theory teases a new game.
I saw this. I debated on bringing it up, but to be honest, there's not really much to say about it.
I mean, I suck Ninja Theory's dick at this point.
I mean, you like Hellblade.
I actually do like a lot of shit that they've done. I just haven't played it in a long time.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm a big Ninja Theory fan, but there's not really. I don't know if you watched the.
I didn't watch it, but I did read an article about it. I mean, I'm down for what this whole thing is going to be about.
It's called like Project Mara, and it looks like it's going to be some sort of like horror game. I mean, I don't know. It's a very, very light. So they're doing like developer diaries, kind of like how they did leading up to the release of Hellblade.
Yeah.
I enjoyed those, so I'll be watching these. They're also doing something, I think it was called like Project Insight or something like that, where it seems like they're developing resources and technology to kind of going further down the mental health rabbit hole that they explored with Hellblade, which was cool. Because Hellblade was a unique game in that it tackled mental health in a way that games typically don't. So it seems like Ninja Theory as a company is really going to start focusing on that. So,
which is, I mean, some really interesting shit.
Yeah, pretty interesting. There's also, in minor news, there's also there's these leaked pictures of the Xbox Series X prototype that got leaked.
Okay.
So it's like somebody took a picture of like the front and the back, and it's clearly real. It's like that's the way this thing looks. And I mean, yeah, it looks basically just how it looked when it was revealed. I mean, there's not really much to say. So, but yeah, I think that's really about all I can think of.
I don't think there's anything else going on.
Yeah, in terms of major news, I think that's pretty much it. So at this point, if you are not interested in hearing the dirty details of our PAX trip, you can go ahead and tune out now. Thank you for listening. That's kind of the normal episode segment of the show. But for the meat of this, I think Todd and I want to just unwind and just talk about the details of our trip. So let's get into it. How shall we begin?
It all started on Wednesday.
You had your flight. Now keep in mind, everybody, that Todd has not flown
since I was
since you
7
were like
years
a
old.
Child. Yeah.
Yeah.
And thanks to the Todd in the middle syndrome, that essentially means you've never flown.
True shit. I vaguely remember being on a plane. Vaguely.
So your flight in was smooth.
Oh yeah, very, very smooth. So I'll say this: both of my airport experiences were smooth.
Yeah.
Like shit. I'll say it was even smoother on the way back.
Right.
But because I think I was like out of the car to my gate through security and all that shit within like 15 minutes, if that.
Yeah.
If that. It was disgusting. But same thing, smooth experience with that. The flight to Houston was honestly one of the best experiences I could have hoped for.
Yeah.
Sitting there, I was on a smaller plane, which is whatever. It was a 2-seater, like 2 seats on each side of the plane, and I had that shit to myself.
Single flyer, carry-on bag, pre-check-in.
Yep. Smooth shit. Like, didn't have to deal with any of that bullshit. Checking my bags, had my mobile boarding pass. I was just flying through some shit. It was, got to Houston. Basically, like, you guys were already there.
Yeah, so we essentially,
Beautiful.
it was funny the way it worked because, like, we live about 6 hours away from Austin/San Antonio. And basically our plan was Houston was sort of the halfway point between between us and San Antonio. So you were flying into Houston. We were like, okay, 3-hour drive to Houston, scoop you up, 3-hour drive to Austin, spend a day in Austin, go up to San Antonio Thursday night, PAX starts Friday morning, and then we were going to drop you back off in Houston on the way home Monday.
Yep.
So, and that is the way it ended up working out. It was kind of funny because, like, just the flight time and our driving time ended up being similar.
It was essentially, even on the way back, even when I came home, like, you guys essentially, I messaged you, like, when I got off the plane, when I got back home in Chicago, was, we just got home like 10 minutes ago type of shit.
And indeed, we only waited like 10 or 15 minutes at the airport before you landed. So it worked out really well.
Yeah, real nice.
So we scooped you up. We went to Austin. And I'm really worried about missing stuff. So interject if I forget things.
Now, is there certain things we do not want to talk about?
I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. They're
because I swear to God, I'll shout out that shit. The incident.
Oh God, yeah. So yeah, we should talk about the incident.
The incident was so good.
We stopped to get gas as we were leaving the Houston airport, and my wife, I don't know why, she does these like just loud guttural burps,
and they come from nowhere.
They come from absolutely nowhere.
Nothing, like, which I respect. I can do burps like that, but I gotta like pre-game like with some like fucking caffeinated shit.
The problem is the problem is that she has no like sense of like, oh, maybe I shouldn't do this in public. And maybe it's because we just like don't really go places too often. She's usually at home or she's around family who don't care. But like when you're outside at a gas station,
well, it's like anytime she does it, like even when I hear it like over the mic or whatever, I'm like, respect.
So she's not used to having to like hide it or whatever. So anyway, she's outside at this gas station and we're at the gas pump or whatever. And like she lets loose this just this like guttural burp. And there's this man who's like on the other side of the gas pump who just like looks at her just wide-eyed, just like, what the fuck? And she's like, oh, sorry. Oh, excuse me.
Tries to basically like kind of retreat back into herself a little bit, and it was just like,
but you could tell this man was just so disturbed by the burp.
Holy shit!
So
so
I didn't see his face, but you did.
I did. Wide-eyed, like looking at her like she was like some fucking
just disgusting swine or something like that. So yeah, that was funny. That sort of set a tone a little bit for the trip.
And then and then I made the joke of like I was like, I survived this plane, I survived this flight. Now I'm gonna die in this car.
Only to die in the car. Yeah, that's some real shit. So let me preface this too. You had not eaten anything all day.
Oh no, I basically decided I'm not gonna eat shit because we kind of already had the plan of where we were gonna eat that first day in Austin. So I was like, I didn't eat any breakfast. I was thinking about maybe I had time. I was at the fucking airport early as hell. I definitely could have got something to eat. But I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna hold off and then just go ham at basically I don't remember the name of the place. You probably do.
Yeah.
It's a Detroit style pizza place.
Yeah, so there's a chain of they have maybe 3 or 4 locations in Austin called Via 313. And yeah, it's like a Detroit style pizza place, and we went to one in downtown Austin. And that was basically, as soon as we like checked into the hotel, that was basically our first stop just to get everybody some food.
Mm-hmm.
And like Anastasia and I had some breakfast, but you hadn't eaten anything. And we went in there, ordered a pizza. Basically, she had her own like small pizza, and you and I shared a pizza, and just killed that shit.
Oh, it was gone. It was fucking gone.
And it was funny because you and I were both like, we could have ordered another one.
And then it's like, and I even had a little bit of Anastasia's because she had it was like 4 slices. She only ate 3. I ate her 4th.
Yeah.
So.
It's worth note. So we got the Detroiter, which essentially, if you've never had Detroit style pizza before, it is kind of the most similar corollary is like a Sicilian style pizza where it's a square and it's kind of got these like crispy edges. It's got kind of a fluffy interior. The Detroit style, they usually put like smoked pepperoni on top of on top, and then they cover that with cheese. More pepperoni on top, like normal natural casing pepperoni on the top, and then the sauce actually goes on top of all of it. My mouth is watering as I'm talking about this.
Bro, same.
It's just so good. It is just.
And the only thing we did differently is we actually added garlic.
Added some garlic.
A good fucking move.
It was very tasty.
Dude, you smelt that garlic the moment it was like put in front of us, and it was just.
And then we fucking went full Detroit with it. Had a Verner's ginger ale to wash it down, and
so very good, very good experience.
It was good.
Definitely, pretty sure they thought we were.
Oh yeah, they 100% thought we were a gay couple. Because we sat across from Anastasia, as you and I sitting.
You know, it doesn't help us that we sat next to each other basically at every place.
We sat next to each other, and we ordered like the pizza that we were gonna share
together.
Yeah.
Oh fuck.
So they 100%. They're like, oh wow, look at this cool trendy gay couple with their female friend or whatever. And then from there we went to.
But you know what though? I'm happy. It puts a terrible image in their head.
Yes, it does. A terrible image that will persist throughout the rest of their lives. So yeah, from there I think we went straight to pinballs, right? After that.
Yeah, we went straight to pinballs, which was a fun time.
Pinballs arcade.
Definitely, because it's funny as we went to an arcade when you guys were up here for Star Wars. We went to the Galloping Ghost, which was a good time, but then we did pinballs, which is a more modern.
Yes. So it's very different vibe. Like Galloping Ghost is like a really cool retro arcade that has like 600 plus.
It's fucking nostalgia is unreal.
Really cool.
At that place.
Yeah. It's really cool to just be in that atmosphere with all those old machines. Pinballs is a more modern arcade. It's more akin to like a Dave & Buster's where you can go in and get like a preloaded card to play. Whereas Galloping Ghost is like just free play. All of these old retro machines.
And it's like you pay like what, like $20?
I think it's $20
pop. I think.
Yeah, $20 all day.
Yeah, and that's shit. We basically did $20 between. I did $20. You guys did technically 40.
Had a good time.
Essentially.
Played some games.
Are you out?
Yeah. So Anastasia she loves those fucking. I don't know why. She loves those like coin gotcha games where you slide in a coin and it like pushes the other coins and the coins push prizes down. Mm-hmm. She loves those.
It's like I think she went through $30 with her card.
Well, here's the thing. She pretended like she wasn't going to just end up doing that, because that's what it devolved into last time. Because we went to Austin, we went to this place on our honeymoon, and she was sort of pretending like it wasn't going to be like that this time.
Oh no.
She maybe played like 2 games before she just went to that.
So essentially like $30 from that shit, and I think I ended up heading back like around the time we were leaving. I think I had like maybe $5 or $7. You probably had like $4 or something. It's like we went over there and it's like we offered tribute.
Yeah, she was like just slide that card, just give me some place. I'm like, good God. She was like a fiend about it. It was like some sort of like DC themed one where she was getting these like collectible DC cards.
Yeah.
I don't know. Some of the highlights for us though, you and I were kind of fucking around. We played this like Halo game that was kind of fun.
Yeah, it was actually surprisingly
It was
fun.
like a light gun game. That was pretty good.
Yeah.
We played that Pac-Man air hockey game.
That was definitely, I think, my favorite part of pinballs, because the shit was just hilarious. Like our reaction to those smaller pucks coming out was some of the funniest shit.
Well, yeah, because it acts like it's a normal. It starts off like a normal game of air hockey.
Yeah, because like we walked up to it like, all right, let's play some air hockey, just knocking it back and forth, and just randomly. Randomly. It's like, I don't even remember how many fucking small.
It's
got to
be at least 20 small pucks.
It's bad. So basically, at that point, when all those came out, I like looked down. I'm like, what the fuck? And I'm like, then I finally read what the hell this shit is. It's like, oh, this is just a thing. Okay.
And it happened like 3 or 4 times throughout the course of the game.
Yeah,
I'm like,
it turns into a shit show.
Like lots of fun. Gets to the point where you're getting like an arm workout while you're doing it.
Shit, it was a little bit of cardio. No?
It's some real shit.
Our fat asses like shit.
They're panting by the end of it. Shit. We played a few games with like this alien game. There's Jetpack Joyride where I got to pretend like I was MODOK, as you said.
Yeah, you dead ass look like MODOK. It was good. Like the way you were sat down and shit.
Because it was one of those things where you have like a handle on each side. It just look like MODOK. It's fun. But
so good.
After pinballs, I think that's pretty much all there is to say about pinballs.
Yeah, that's kind of where we call it.
She cashed in some tickets, got some like candy and shit. We went to Walmart, and I think we went there to pick up like some kind of like last minute things that we needed. But after Walmart, that was when the true tradition of the trip began.
Yes.
Burgers in bed.
Burgers and bed. Which I'm assuming will be the damn title
of this episode. Yeah. Burgers and bed / burgers in bed.
Yes.
So I basically was like, okay, hey, we're still a little bit peckish. We had the Detroit pizza, but you got to keep in mind again, Todd hadn't eaten all day. Anastasia and I had only had like a breakfast that morning. We're still kind of peckish.
Yeah.
After pinballs, we kind of worked off a little bit of it. You know what? I'm like, Todd, there's a really good 24-hour burger place in Austin. It's a local Austin chain. I'm not talking about Whataburger, even though Whataburger's great, and trust, we did hit up Whataburger.
Multiple times.
But this place is called P. Terry's, and it's an Austin, like I said, local chain in Austin. There's maybe, I don't know, 5 or so locations throughout Austin. And yeah, we drove through, grabbed some burgers and some shakes, some like late night, like midnight burgers and shakes.
Yeah, good time.
And downed those, and it was pretty fucking good.
Yep.
See, the thing about P. Terry's is interesting because they kind of just do like that one thing. Like they give you the burger, and it's a very simple burger. Like it's
nothing crazy, but it satisfied me.
It's what you want at midnight. That's just the kind of burger you want. It's like just a simple, no nonsense. They've got that like special sauce on there, that kind of creamy pepper sauce on there.
Yeah, it's really good.
It's just really solid, really good burger, and good milkshakes. Just a nice kind of like diner style drive-through, really quick smash burger kind of style, and that set the precedent because that became kind of a nightly tradition of burgers in bed. So yeah, the next day we headed out to sort of go on the pilgrimage. When you go to Austin, guys, I cannot stress this enough. You cannot go to Austin without stopping at Valentinas Tex-Mex Barbecue. It is a food truck on the outskirts of Austin. And until, I think they open at like 7, and until 11 o'clock, they sell breakfast tacos. And they are, and I was hyping this up for you before we went. And I never hype up anything food-wise unless I know it's going to live up to it. And yeah,
There are no words to describe just how beautiful. I'm crying right now. Just how beautiful this shit really is.
yeah, the Valentinas.
You think I'm kidding? I'm dead ass emotional.
The Valentinas is like their breakfast taco is one of the best things I've ever eaten. Just period.
So I ended up spending like $20 just me. So I kind of went in knowing what I was gonna get because I actually funny is like a little bit before the trip as I watched a video on Bon Appetit that ended up showing Valentinas
Yes.
and I saw it, the real deal Holyfield.
Yeah, so they do kind of a standard breakfast taco. Their standard breakfast taco is egg, potato, cheese, and salsa. Everything's house made. Everything is house made, from the tortilla to whatever meat you put on it to whatever you can add like bacon or brisket or chorizo or pulled pork or whatever. Well, then the sort of like gimmicky sort of main menu item that they're known for in the morning is the real deal Holyfield, which is, stop me if I'm missing something, egg, cheese, salsa, bacon, brisket, refried beans, and a fried egg.
So the egg, there is no like scrambled egg. The egg is a fried egg.
So the egg is the fried egg. I see.
Essentially, that's what it is. And my God, I got 2 of them.
It's crazy, man.
No,
it's like out of control.
When this shit came out, like when this shit was placed in front of me, I couldn't believe what I was looking at. So the first one was completely untainted. I didn't taint it with anything like hot sauce or fucking some extra barbecue sauce or whatever. I wanted the untainted pure experience of what they just presented to me. And when I bit in, the last time I had a similar experience was with Five Guys. But this was to an even more powerful extent that I saw the face of God.
True.
Like, when I bit in, and there was just simply just no resistance of anything other than the crispy bacon.
Yes.
Everything just melted in my God. Hold me.
It's so good, man. I even just like getting the standard brisket taco. It's like so good.
And then we, I think you ended up even ordering like before we left just a fucking piece of brisket.
Well, it's funny. That's something you should understand about me is that I am an appreciator of barbecue and of brisket especially. And so like they really make Valentinas is right up there with some of the best brisket in the entire world. I mean, they make some of the finest brisket you will have anywhere. And Central Texas in general is just the hotbed of barbecue. I mean, like, you will not find classic traditional American barbecue better anywhere else than where we were vacationing at.
Yeah.
And we did indeed have barbecue twice on the trip. So
Yep, it's true.
But their brisket is just so good. I couldn't leave without ordering another. I just needed a little something. I just needed a little more brisket in my life. So they brought me a little baggie that contained actually the black gold of the brisket, which is the burn ends there on the point. And man, so good. We basically just sat there and shared the burn ends, and it was just delicious.
Bro, I could have just picked that up and just slid it down my throat.
It is just so, like, it holds up to its own weight, but it pulls apart with no effort whatsoever. I mean, it's just beautiful. And, like, and all there is, Central Texas barbecue, it's got that beautiful crust on it. All it is salt and pepper. They do it so right at Valentinas. And you put that shit on a breakfast taco with homemade salsa, homemade tortilla. You hit it with a little bit of that house-made barbecue, and there's almost nothing better than that. There really isn't. I'm telling you, like, that was one of those things. I'm like, this is like top 5 best things I've ever put in my mouth.
Easily. Fucking
so
easily.
Good. So good. So I feel bad for like giving you the food highlights so early in the trip,
Yeah.
but we
Yeah,
did have some other good
I
food.
made the joke is like definitely after Valentinas it was all downhill. Really ended up there really was all downhill, especially with the last place.
Well, that's some real shit. Well, we will get to that for sure.
Even then, I'm gonna be honest, it wasn't that bad.
It really wasn't. The quote unquote bad food that we ate still wasn't that bad.
Yeah, it was whatever. It wasn't a fix. We needed a quick something.
Yeah. So we get to San Antonio, and it's Thursday night. And no, wait, no. Before we get to that, I got so hung up on Valentinas, almost forgot. We're still in Austin, and we haven't even thought about going to San Antonio yet. We went to it's called Zilker, I think, or Zilkner Japanese Botanical Garden
Yes.
in Austin, which we wanted to do on our honeymoon but didn't get a chance to. So we spent a couple of hours there and just kind of exploring.
Yeah, good time.
Yeah, it was relaxing. It was pretty.
Had some funny times there with some of that shit.
Yeah, it was fun.
Walked all the way down this stupid ass thing. There's no way back.
It was good. It was a good time. It was nice. It was pretty. It was zen. It was zen as hell. And to really kind of put a cap on, my wife loves that kind of shit. She loves like plants and stuff, so she loved every second of it. And then per her request for lunch that day, we went to Ramen Tatsuya.
Oh yeah.
And had some ramen there. Had just a really good, solid ramen experience.
And she ruined bamboo shoots for me.
Yeah. That place doesn't have good bamboo shoots.
They're not good.
That's one of the things that I don't like about that place.
It's her fucking description of it was so accurate that
they taste like a bathroom smells.
It tastes like a porta potty, to be precise. And I was eating it as she said it, or like basically that was the next thing I ate after she said it, and as I'm eating it, dude, I almost was like, dude, I'm gonna be honest, I almost spit it out. Shit.
Everything else in that bowl though is really good.
Oh, really solid, really solid. I really enjoy the noodles. The noodles were actually like really good.
The noodles are great. They've got a really nice chew to them. I love their broth because they've got this great tonkatsu pork bone broth that's like creamy and rich, and like they hit it with a little bit of like black garlic oil. And I got some fresh garlic on the side, not realizing that it was actually they were going to let me press my own garlic.
Mm-hmm.
They bring me garlic, like 4 cloves of garlic and a fucking press. I'm like,
nice, real nice.
Okay.
Yeah, I think me and you got the same actual bowl. You added the garlic, and I wanted one of these like flavor bombs essentially.
Yeah, it's called like fire in a bowl.
Yeah, I got fire in a bowl. Here's the thing. It's not that hot. I actually enjoyed it. It's very good. At one point, I just said fuck it and dumped it all.
Turning your broth a deep red.
Yes. It's quite good.
Yeah. No, that's just a really good place to go.
My
for a bowl of
only
ramen.
issue with both ramen places that I've been to, I'm like, bro, just fuck this cafeteria style shit.
Yeah, well, yeah, they're trying to. So I understand what they're going for. Like they're trying to make it seem like an authentic Japanese kind of experience because ramen really is in Japan the kind of thing that you pop in, you're in and out in 10 minutes on your way to work. You know what I mean? So I get that, and Tatsuya does a really good job. I actually really like the way Tatsuya is set up, where you order and pay for everything up front.
That is something I will say. I do prefer that over like the place we went to in Chicago.
Yeah, that was more of like a typical restaurant style.
Yeah.
This one, Ramen Tatsuya, you just pay for everything up front. You sit down, you eat, and you leave.
Yep.
So and I like that.
I think there's like people next to us on both sides switched out. I think like twice while we ate.
Yeah, so it's really good. And we also didn't get like any sort of appetizers in Chicago. We got like the Wagyu gyoza and stuff like that. So anyway, really solid bowl of ramen. I think we basically went to San Antonio right after eating there.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah, I mean, there was other stuff we were planning on doing, and we just couldn't get like parking for.
Oh, right, because we were gonna go. I was gonna show you like the Museum of the Weird and stuff, but the parking was just atrocious because that place is on
It
6th
just
Street.
got really shady. With
Oh,
like,
right, because we were we went to this
yeah,
little
I
parking
dead ass
garage.
watched a dude like basically try to break into a car,
Yes,
and then there was just like the homeless around.
yes, it got pretty bad there, and I was like, you know what? Fuck this. The Museum of the Weird's cool and all. It ain't that cool. I was like, let's go. So we went to San Antonio after that. I should say, this is a good storytelling opportunity. On the way to San Antonio, we stopped at a Buc-ee's. So Buc-ee's, for those that don't know, this is another Texas establishment. Texas really is like, it's funny. You can vouch for this now that you've been, really. Texas really is like its own fucking country, basically.
Dude, it's extra as fuck, dude.
It's so extra. And so, like, Buc-ee's is like the most extra gas station you've ever seen in your life.
I felt like I was in a fucking grocery store.
It is like a grocery store. It's like a half a Walmart.
Yeah.
I mean,
In
literally.
a way. I mean, it is essentially everything that you'd find, obviously, in a gas station, but like even just crazier. There's a fucking wall of jerky, walls of just nuts and shit. But then you get even stupider. There's like a fucking, isn't there like a bakery? I swear to God.
Yeah, there's a bakery, there's a full service deli, and like
Motherfucker,
lunch
there's a sweet
place.
shop. You got like fudge.
Yeah, I bought fudge from there. It's like ridiculous. And then they have like souvenirs and like
The
clothes.
bathroom was like really nice too.
Really nice bathrooms.
That's
You
my
had a
segue.
little run in.
That's my segue there. So here we go. This has actually never happened to me before. But I knew
really?
something was up with the stall that I went into, because the door was a little ajar anyways when I first went in there. I knew something was up. I knew something was wrong. So I go in there. I went to lock the door. Assumed it was locked. A man opened it up. An old man. I remember his face quite vividly.
It's burned into your memory.
Because it was one of those quick moments of like I covered my shame and I looked him dead in the eye. And then he's like, you just gotta close the door.
Because you were like taking a shit, right? So you had like your pants pulled down around
That's
your
why I was
ankles.
like, I'm just sitting there like a deer in headlights, bro. It was fucking rough.
That's funny. Yeah, no, I didn't have any experience like that. But it was worth it to go to Buc-ee's, though.
That was cool seeing, man. It was like shit.
It's just so huge, like the amount of gas pumps. I think we were on gas pump number like 237 or some shit.
It's fucking ridiculous.
It's absurd. So anyway, had to make the Buc-ee's stop. Went to San Antonio, and I'm actually. Oh, you know what I think it was? I think the first night was Domino's, right?
Yes.
Yeah. By the time we got to the hotel, we were all sort of just tired, and we just wanted to unpack.
I ended up treating us to some Domino's.
Yes.
And that was the first.
The cycle raged on from there.
That was the first true witnessing of my savagery.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. But it was funny. We were just sort of like, because in the Austin hotel we couldn't truly unpack because we were only going to be there for one night. Also, we should just say the Austin hotel not good.
Sucked. Like there was like the middle, like between the little like nightstand or whatever, like between the two beds, is like the moment you moved at all, like it would basically just lose power, like that whole area. It's like what?
Yeah. And the beds were like firm, like stone slabs.
I slept like absolute dog shit.
Yeah. So as a result of that, by the time we got to the San Antonio hotel, we're like tired, and we didn't really feel like doing jack shit.
So I ordered some Domino's. Was not the best Domino's, but it sufficed. It was right.
Pizza. It was fine. It was what it was. We got alcohol. We drank and played Smash as we did virtually every night.
Essentially, and I had to have alcohol in my system every day.
It's the only way you get to sleep.
It's true.
It's the only thing that keeps the demons at bay.
Yeah.
And but no, it was just kind of like a chill night for us at that point, because it was like okay, like we kind of just want to like relax. We just want to unpack, because I mean we're gonna be in this hotel for 4 nights. It's like, let's just kind of unwind, get everything set up the way we want to get it set up, order some Dominoes.
And I think Dan showed up, right?
Yeah, he showed up Thursday night at like 9 or 10 o'clock or something like that.
Yeah, you played a little Smash with him.
Yep.
Gave him a Miller High Life that he didn't finish.
Yeah. And just kind of hung out with him before PAX properly started Friday morning.
Mm-hmm.
And thus began the routine, really, of like, we essentially did the same shit every day. Where like, it's like, okay, wake up, go downstairs for breakfast.
Yep.
For the hotel's continental breakfast. Then go to PAX, essentially skip lunch, and or have a granola bar or whatever, and PAX it out until dinner time, and then end the night with burgers in bed.
Yep.
That was essentially our routine. So before we get into, rather than break it down day by day, because PAX is just sort of a thing.
Yeah.
I guess we could just talk about PAX in general. I mean, how'd you feel? I mean, this is only your second convention experience.
So, it was a good time. My only issue with anything was I wish we had a little bit more AAA shit, but that's whatever.
Or any AAA shit.
Sorry, my bad. Because there was none. Other than that, I had a good time just walking around the floor, checking some shit out. Seeing, I mean, even like you were saying that this was kind of a weak year in general.
It definitely was.
Like, even with like cosplay, it was pretty weak.
Yeah, it definitely was a weak year. And I think everybody, like my friend Ryan, who was also the officiant at our wedding, he's been to every single one.
Yeah.
And even he was like, yeah, this is by far the weakest year. There's typically some sort of first party presence. Like, I think Sony was there last year with Days Gone. Like, Capcom this is actually the first year that Capcom and Devolver Digital have not been there. So, I mean, it was definitely a light year. But I think the thing about PAX that makes it such a unique show is that even aside from the games, it's just the vibe of it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, just being around the vibes of PAX kind of makes it worth it. Like, I really like just like being around that ambience.
Yeah.
Like, I really like just being at PAX. Like, I could have an entire day of not playing anything, and I would have a great time.
Yeah.
And as a matter of fact, like, some of my favorite things that we did the entire show was just hang out in that environment and go to the console free play area.
Oh, dude, the console free play was like a highlight, honestly. Like, that was a lot of fun. Like, the first time we went, we played Halo 2. It was me, you, and Dan.
That was a blast.
Put the fucking hammer down on both of you. No, I'm just...
Well, I wouldn't go that far.
I know, I'm talking...
They were all pretty close games.
The second game was... I was definitely further ahead than the first one. The first one was definitely
The first
close.
one was like, I think it was like 25,
24, 23.
Yeah.
It was dumb as hell. Like, it was like, dude, the last, like, couple kills, I kind of, like, brought out my ace shit. It's like...
Yeah. It was a lot of fun, though. I mean, the way they had that set up was a lot of fun. And that was really... If I could talk about some highlights for me, I played Tunic twice.
I actually watched you play it the second time, and I'm down for that game just by watching you play it.
It is a sort of like, I think I might have talked about this when they announced it at E3 a couple years ago. It's a Zelda-like kind of with slight kind of Souls influence, kind of like top-down action adventure game where you play as this little fox, and it's really cool. Like, I had a really good time playing it. It controls really well. It's beautiful to look at. It does this interesting thing. It kind of reminded me of Hyper Light Drifter a little bit, where like it's got this language that you just don't understand, or like a Titan Souls kind of vibe.
Yeah,
a little bit. And I don't know. It's definitely, that was one of the best things I played at the show for sure. That was a lot of fun. Eagle Island was fun. What else did I play? The big thing that we got really into was Magic.
Yeah, that's true.
That was interesting.
I was surprised about like that was something. It was like even I remember you were talking about like trying to fuck with it, and then I just kind of like fuck it. Nothing else is going on.
Here's the thing: is they had Magic the Gathering had an enormous presence at the show.
Oh yeah, definitely. They had like basically tables, whole little setup. Like it was.
They had like a huge chunk of the show
They essentially
floor.
had like a corner of the expo hall.
Yeah. So and they had a setup there. Now to preface this, Magic has been around for decades, and I've never played it.
Same. Yeah.
I've always had friends that have like wanted me to get into it. My D&D group, everybody in my D&D group plays it. They all have wanted me to get into it for years. And like they had a little booth set up there that's like, "Hey, learn to play Magic. It's completely free. You get a free like welcome deck essentially." And I was like, "You know what? Fuck it. I'm going to learn how to play Magic." So I did the little tutorial and got my welcome deck, and I was like, and I had a lot of fun, and I was like, I know that Todd would like this. If Todd gave this a shot, I know he would like it.
You grabbed me. We went to it. I grabbed my welcome deck, and I didn't do the demo, but me and you basically went somewhere and we.
I basically was your demo.
Yeah, essentially.
So we played Magic, and we played Magic several times over the course of the trip.
Lots of fun.
So another significant thing. This usually always seems to happen at PAX, where they will have a pre-release event for some new expansion coming out.
Well, I want to say this. It's the event was called New Players.
Yeah, so it was called New Players Sealed, and it was for the Theros Beyond Death pre-release event for the new expansion.
Yes.
So it was $30, and essentially what the deal was, the only description on there was that it was going to be like, hey, you're going to buy a booster for the new pre-release deck, or expansion rather, and then you're going to be taught how to build a deck based on the booster that you bought. Okay, cool. So we both bought into that.
I'll say you right now, we didn't get taught shit.
I thought the little pamphlet they gave out was actually pretty informative.
It was. I'm just talking shit.
So yeah, we sit down, we buy the booster and everything, we get assigned to a table and everything like that.
And then as we sat down, we realized what was truly going to happen here.
We didn't realize that we were getting entered into a tournament.
Yep.
It was a new player tournament. And I like the idea of like buying a sealed booster, making a deck based out of it, and just getting as far as you can go. Yeah. I like that idea a lot. That's really cool. However,
it was something. Here's the thing: if we knew this before we signed up for it, we probably wouldn't have done it because we just had shit to do that day.
Yeah, we had shit to do. We were all hungry. We were trying to get dinner.
It's like it's like the way I was looking at. I was hearing timer on like it wouldn't end till like 7:30 type shit. I'm like, no.
I'm like, yeah, no, I'm not sitting here playing this entire tournament. So anyway, we get seated down. Do we want to talk about your buddy?
Oh yes, we're talking about both of them. Now, I knew the moment this motherfucker came, it sat in front of me, it was going to be a good time. He's rocking that Sword Art Online cosplay.
Oh right, I forgot about that.
Oh yes, and he's like, "Do you like my fucking? I don't remember the fucking name of the sword."
Yeah, me either.
But he's like, I was like, "Yeah, it's cool, man. I'm just I'm being nice."
You're doing what you could.
I was doing what I could. I wasn't giving a shit. But I know this is like this kid is probably on the.
I definitely, 100%.
He's on the spectrum.
100% on the spectrum, yeah.
But yeah, again, I'm being nice to the kid, and he introduces himself. No, this is not his fucking real name. He
goes, "What's your name?" And you're like, "I'm Todd." And he's like, "I'm Darvak." And then he proceeds to be like, "Yeah, so how is everybody here?"
And I'm like, 24 hours.
Yeah, we literally learned how to play this within the past day.
He's like, I'm still pretty new. I've been playing for 5 years.
And then, like, the kid sitting across from me was the
kid sitting across from you, sitting next to me. I love this kid. This kid's great.
He was also probably on the spectrum. Like, he also seemed pretty, like... But it was just so funny because he was like, yeah, I've been playing for around a year or whatever.
So, I mean, granted, he's a little more new. But, shit. There's a lot of motherfuckers that were not new. They were bringing out their fucking play match and shit.
That's what I'm saying. That's the shitty thing is, like, you could tell that they were just there to, like, stomp on some noobs.
Well, that's the thing. I'm not trying to get this is an ass beating I didn't sign up for.
Yeah, they just showed up there to stomp on some noobs and to win prizes for free. That was what it was about.
Yeah. So... But this is right here. This is my favorite moment of this whole thing, and honestly, I almost burst out laughing, like dead, like out loud. I'm pretty sure you probably did too.
Yeah.
But there was a moment where they got into this whole thing. That kid next to me in front of you was like, "Oh, so you're not really new then, essentially." And well, there's people around here that got probably more experience than me, so I am, and I'm not.
Yeah, he goes. So his bullshit logic was like. So the kid was like, yeah, I think they expected the players to show up to be actually new, and he goes, well, I've been playing for 5 years, but there are people who've been playing for 30 years, so I mean, I am new, but I'm not new, and then the kid's like, no, you aren't, and you aren't.
It's like just dropping the fucking mic, dude. I was like, I was like, in my mind, so I'm like, funny. I love this kid right here. This kid's good.
He was giving him like no quarter. He was like, no, this is bullshit. You should not be here playing a.
Half those motherfuckers technically.
Yeah.
Like, dude, it was bad, dude. Like, looking at the table, like, I'm like, dude, this is an ass beating I didn't sign up for. And luckily, I didn't. I was allowed to not get my ass beat because there was an uneven amount of players. I got 2 free prize tickets.
You got paired with basically nobody, so you won your round by default.
So I got two prize tickets. It was quite nice. So essentially, I spent my time watching you play this really cool. He seemed like a nice guy, but he was definitely nice, he was newer than you.
Yeah, he was like he was like, so when did you start playing? I was like, about a day ago. He was like, yeah, I started playing a couple hours ago.
Yep.
And so anyway, we start playing, and it was best 2 out of 3. I won both rounds, and just honestly kind of mopped the floor with him.
Still, I think it was a good time though. It was fun. We had fun, kind of like just joking around and shit.
Fucking Darvac next to me is getting pissed.
Oh my god, yeah, because I think Anastasia even said like that it was like it seemed like this guy even had more experience than him, and he was just kicking his ass.
Darvac getting his ass kicked up and down.
I made a shitty joke. Kid had that Columbine energy.
Well, because of his like Kirito cosplay, it was sort of like a trench coat.
Dude, it was that Columbine energy, bro. I was like, oh shit. Yeah, I think I like originally I whispered that into Anastasia's ear. Like I was just like, this kid's gone on. Oh shit.
Yeah, so that it was a good time though, and I had a lot of fun playing Magic.
I had a lot of fun just playing it in the hotel room a couple times.
Yeah, in the hotel room.
Like, just shit. I was just kind of like drinking a little bit, playing Magic with you. And
that was the thing that I didn't expect. That was the thing, though, coming into it. I didn't expect I'd come away with it with an appreciation of Magic. I'm looking forward to playing more.
Definitely. I mean, what was the main things? Like, the other thing that we did I thought was a lot of fun is we went to, we did the concerts, which was a good time.
Yeah, concerts was fun. We saw Freeze Pop, Super MES, the mariachi video game band. That was fun.
Honest, I enjoyed them a lot.
They were really, really good.
Dude, when Guile's theme, I was like, oh shit.
There's several moments where I was like, God damn. And we also, Saturday night, one of the things Anastasia wanted to do was she wanted to go to the Acquisitions Incorporated live show.
And I am very happy we did that.
Which was a lot of fun.
I felt bad for Dan.
Yeah, so our friend Dan was with us for PAX, and he is not like a D&D player or anything like that. So he was a little lost, but
I definitely I enjoyed it. Like I wasn't like, I mean, obviously I could easily be lost on like the overarching story aspects of some shit and like some of the characters, but I have enough understanding of like D&D where I'm like, I wasn't like, I knew what was going on a little bit, you know?
Yeah.
It was a good time.
So it's funny because like Acquisitions Inc. has been going on for forever. They recently, like a couple years ago, they sort of rebooted it as a podcast. And then it slowly kind of devolved into now they're just like, okay, we're just going to do new episodes of Acquisitions Inc. at every PAX. Because there's like 5 PAXs now.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, now we're just going to do that at every PAX, and that's going to be the show. So basically every like other month you're getting a new episode of Acquisitions Inc. And if you happen to be at PAX, you could actually see it live. So that's what we did. And it was fun.
It was a good time. And then it was after that night we finally did a Whataburger.
Yes, that was our burgers in bed for
Wait, what
for
did we
that
do
night.
for Friday?
Friday might have been Mi Tierra.
Oh yeah, Friday was Meteora. That's what we did. And I think instead of burgers in bed,
That Mi Tierra is an experience.
that's a spectacle.
That the food itself was fine. Solid like Tex-Mex food, whatever. But it's all about the actual spectacle,
Yeah.
the actual experience. That's the good shit. I think we actually did burgers in bed that night.
What did we get?
I think we went to Whataburger that night, Friday night. I think we went Friday and Saturday night. I don't know if we went Sunday night. I'm not sure. The timeline might be a little wrong on that. I don't remember.
Because I'm trying to remember. I know the one that was rough was so. I know the first time. I don't remember what day it was, but the first day we went to Whataburger, I only got a burger,
Right.
instead of this was the second day, the day after, where I got like 2 things and like fries and shit.
Right.
The only reason I remember that is because I was behind you.
Oh God. We get into the fucking hotel room, and like you didn't even like take off your coat, your fucking shoes, nothing. You just like slapped your burger onto the desk and just started to like consume it without any hesitation, or it was foul. It was a foul
You
thing
were
to
like
witness.
basically like not even like a foot away, just hearing my noises.
I just heard you behind me just it just sounded like a wolf eating a deer. It was so bad. And we had that was that burgers in bed, and then I think Saturday was when we went to Smoke Shack.
Yeah, Smoke Shack was a good time.
Oh man, that was so good. That was
I got
just
that big Mexican Coke.
yeah. They have that place is again that Central Texas barbecue. It's not to the standard of like Valentinas. They're
Yeah.
a few things that they're a little amateurish on, but flavor wise, technique wise, like the actual taste of it all, really, really good.
Yeah, I ended up getting this thing called like the Big Dog. Had a sausage link, pulled pork, brisket, some vinegar-based slaw, all on a hoagie roll. Solid.
Yeah, I got this like 3 meat dinner plate, which was like 2 of my meats were brisket, and then sausage. Came with a roll and 2 sides. I got their mac and cheese was like so good. Ugh, their mac and cheese was like stellar because they put brisket in the mac and cheese. It's like fuck. It was really, really good. That's a place where like next time I'm in San Antonio, I am 100% going back to that place.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, and I think we had burgers in bed that night also because Dan was with us for both instances.
Yes. So, and that is actually when I ended up going a little more big smoke, Todd.
Yeah.
And I got like 2 sandwiches and shit.
I think the only night that we did not do burgers in bed was Sunday, and the only reason for that, so we go to the show Sunday, we have kind of a light day Sunday, and we were just sort of like, okay, we want to get food. I think Sunday actually was the day of the tournament, right? Was the day of the Magic tournament?
Yes.
Because we were gonna get food. Our plan was we were gonna go to Plucker's Wing Bar and get wings.
The original plan was Chick-fil-A.
Original plan was Chick-fil-A. That got dashed because it's Sunday, of course.
Yeah, I was like, as soon as you guys said Chick-fil-A, it clicked into my mind. I'm like, no.
Yeah, Dan left Sunday morning, so he was already gone by this point. He actually left before we even headed up to the convention. He left like earlier that morning.
like 9 o'clock, 9:30
Yeah.
or some shit. Yeah.
So we just kind of ate breakfast, headed down to the show, did our shit, played some Magic, and then we left. We were gonna go to Pluckers. We drive out to Pluckers, and it's a good 20-minute drive or so to get out to
Now,
Pluckers.
This is the real thing. Was this also the day of the ride?
The ride.
You know what ride, bitch?
What ride?
Alex.
Oh. Yeah, it was.
So we didn't just drive to Pluckers, motherfucker. We
Yeah,
we had
that's
to
true.
suffer.
Okay. Let's back up for a second. Yeah. So, okay. It should be stated, we stayed at the Holiday Inn Express, downtown San Antonio on East Commerce Street, maybe a mile and change away from the convention center. I love that hotel.
Yeah, great hotel.
That was a great
comfortable
hotel.
bed, great experience.
Great experience.
You had a shuttle service
Yes.
to and from the convention center.
Which was
Free,
great.
Free, cool shit.
Which was great, and we took advantage of it several times. We saved, we probably saved a good, $20-$30 on. I mean, we did Uber a few times, but we probably saved some money not Ubering by using that shuttle.
Yeah.
So anyway,
we met this particular driver.
Yeah.
I think a couple days or a day before, and I realized he was a little too much of a talker then.
Yeah, he was a little. We already knew he was kind of annoying. Then he was talking about
bringing out videos of his live karaoke shit.
Yeah, busting out the videos of him singing karaoke, and it was like, oh, dude, we just want to. And so several things were happening this weekend. So the reason we didn't end up going to Pluckers is because it was Sunday. Pluckers is a sports bar, and this was the playoffs.
Yeah, an hour. It was going to be an hour and 15-minute long wait. It's like,
yeah, the championship playoffs are happening between like the 49ers and the Packers and all this shit. So it's like, yeah, that's not, and also between the Titans and the Chiefs. So it's like, yeah, so that's not fucking happening. So we had to find another place to go eat, and we'll get to that in a minute. But so Alex picks us up from the convention center
around the time, it's like 5:10 maybe.
Yeah.
And
to bring us back.
We do not leave in front of the convention center till almost time for the next shuttle. The shuttles were like every 30 minutes.
Yeah.
And this man basically is like, just people watching. I'll bring out my fucking phone, damn it. I'll bring out the group message.
He's sitting there like people watching, commenting on cosplay and asking questions. And I had you and Anastasia were sitting behind me, and I was kind of sitting closer to the front.
Yes, you were our social tank, and Anastasia started a group chat between the three of us that you never saw until later.
My phone was on silent, so I didn't see it.
So it's just honestly, this whole group shit was just basically me and Anastasia just keeping our fucking sanity, just talking shit.
This dude just would not shut up, and because you guys weren't engaging, I was the social tank. Yeah. I was taking all of his DPS.
Dude, it's even Anastasia's in this group. He's just people watching.
So bad. And
he's getting paid to hold us hostage and be his friend.
Pretty much. And I'm just sitting there, dude. Talking to him made my head just feel fuzzy. I just felt like I was in a stupor. That entire.
Dude, it was unfucking real. I was legitimately getting mad in the back, and it was just I think at one point I even most of this group messages is just gifs and shit of just stupid shit. At one point I'm like, what is this shit? I think it's Deadass from what is that show? Fucking Arrested Development.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's at one point I'm like, us not taking an Uber. I've made a huge mistake. It's shit. And the worst part about this whole thing is he had to go a bunch of side routes. He was or some shit.
Yeah, so not only was it the weekend of PAX, not only was it the weekend of the NFL Championship playoffs, it was also
Jam shit going
on. Monster Jam was also in town. So traffic was fucked. Just fucked the entire time. So yeah, they had several roads closed off for Monster Jam. So yeah, he had to take all these back roads and shit like that, and he's he's like pointing out like, yeah, that pizza place is pretty good. Never been there though. It's like, what? And I sort of gathered that he like is also like he works in the school cafeteria or something, I think. Because he was making it sound like either a janitor or like I don't know, like I think he works in a school in some capacity. I don't know. Just context clues throughout the miasma of damage I was taking.
Dude, I stopped giving a shit. Like, at one point, this is honestly, in my mind, the truest like form of how I felt was the E in Chuck E. Cheese stands for endless suffering.
It was bad, bro. It was that shuttle ride felt like a fucking eternity.
And I foretold this. Now this is podcasting material. It's like, this man will be shat on. He will be shat on. I swear.
It was rough, bro. We finally gets us back to the hotel.
Dude, it was like, I think we were in that fucking shuttle for like an hour.
Had to have been close.
At least 45 minutes.
What's the timestamp difference between the first and the last message?
Ooh, let me take a look.
That's the way you would tell.
So I'll give it a thing. We probably got in there around 5 because the initial message is at 5:14. I'm assuming give a couple minutes before Anastasia started getting like annoyed. So I'd say maybe like 5:05, 5:10.
Uh-huh.
And the final one, yeah, like 5:40.
Jesus. Aye. Yeah, we were being held hostage, basically.
It was so bad.
It was rough. Anyway, he finally gets us to the hotel. We take off to go to Pluckers, find out the Pluckers is a no-go. And so we're like desperately looking around, because at this point we have our heart set kind of on, like, we just want wings.
Pizza, wings, something, I don't know.
Something in that ballpark. We look around for some local places. A lot of them are looking kind of sports bar-y, and I'm just like, they're going to be fucking packed too. So we land on this place. I think it's called, Plaza
Pizza and Wings.
Plaza Pizza and Wings. In this, like, back alley, hole-on-the-wall, rape dungeon-looking place. And we just, I was, like, kind of scared a little bit.
It was, like, bro, dude, when Anastasia first pulled up, I'm like, is this place closed, or what's up? Like, there was, like, really no sign for the place, dude. There was no sign.
No, there was no sign. You had to go down, like, an alley to get to
dude,
it.
It was so fucking...
And, like, we stop in there, and it's kind of a... I mean, it's definitely a dive.
It's like a dive, but it's one of those places. It's like, it is like that neighborhood hangout sort of fucking thing.
Everybody knew everybody. Like, the waitress was like hugging all the people. You could tell everybody's a regular.
Yeah, they
had the game on the TV. It was pretty low key overall.
I mean, overall, again, it was just like, I didn't mind it.
There was something charming about it, right?
Yeah,
but then,
it's like they definitely needed to clean out their fucking nozzles or whatever, the tubes and shit.
Oh, for the fountain machine?
Ooh.
I didn't have an issue with it, but
something was foul.
Something was wrong with that Dr. Pepper.
I still drank it. I didn't give a shit.
And we ordered the pizza and wings. We just ordered like a large, normal pepperoni pizza. And I mean, and it comes and it's like just the fucking greasiest pizza you've ever seen in your life. Like,
passable though.
But
nothing wrong with it.
But hey, it was like late. We were all really hungry. We downed
that pizza though. That pizza was gone.
We killed it. Yeah.
And then the wings came. And we got
solid
me and you
wings.
Basically shared a like 20 piece garlic parm.
Yeah.
Anastasia got Kurt's wings.
Yeah, Kurt's sauce.
Yeah.
Whatever the fuck that means. It's supposed to be like a charred, spicy barbecue.
I do respect the charred aspect of it because I ended up having one of her wings.
Yeah.
And I'll get to that later, what I called that shit. But
oh, yeah.
Yeah, but, me and you rocked them wings, like, quickly.
They're solid. Could have been improved, but overall...
It's that safe bet garlic parmesan. It's what I expect when I order a garlic parmesan.
It was just kind of it was just kind of... The place was, like, I left the place satisfied.
Yeah, satisfied. And then obviously, like, so Anastasia, like when she ordered the Kurt sauce wing, she ordered the extra spicy.
Yeah.
And as we were leaving, I called it how I felt about it. That was the LaCroix of spice.
Just not spicy at all.
Not at all. Not at all.
But it was a fine time.
So yeah, and then we kind of were like, when we were like going back to the hotel, it was one of those things we were like, yeah, we got to kill some of this alcohol.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I was the main one drinking, so it was like still a good amount of alcohol left. Because I wasn't trying to go like fucking ape shit, like drink like shit. I kill like all of it in one night, which I could, but I'm not going to.
You don't want to end up with alcohol poisoning.
Yeah, right. But so when we came back, it's like I rocked. We picked up this like grapefruit like cider, which is really solid. Killed the rest of that.
Yeah, that grapefruit cider is pretty good.
Yeah, killed that last Miller High Life. I think only thing
I had those 2 Smirnoffs.
I think the last thing you brought back was, I think the only thing that really came back with you was like some Guinness.
It was some Guinness and 1 Smirnoff, which is still in there.
Yeah.
So, which I'm actually probably gonna tap into some of that tonight.
Nice,
so,
very nice, very
we'll
nice.
see.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was funny because we were like burgers in bed 3 nights in a row, but it was already so late by that point. We had an early morning because we had to wake up so fucking early for your flight home.
Yeah, and that was, dude. There was multiple moments on the ride to Houston where like Anastasia went the wrong way.
Yeah, she kept missing her turns and stuff because I fell asleep.
Dude, I was starting to get fucking worried. I'm like, oh shit.
Well, like it was because like you guys woke up or whatever. I was already well awake by that time.
Yeah.
And like I had like maybe 2 hours of sleep that entire night. So the second we got in the car and started driving, I passed out.
Yeah, no, I slept a little bit, like on there, but it was like I couldn't see like the directions or whatever. So I'm like, she was just definitely. I mean, here's the thing: she caught it. She was catching it quick, so it was like kind of a quick fix. But yeah. I'm just sitting there. I'm like, we're already on like a tight thing here, like we're.
Yeah, we ended up so I think your plane was boarding at like 7:40. I think we got you to the airport at like 6:50 or something like that.
If not like 7 o'clock, but it was like 6:50, 6:55.
It was somewhere in that ballpark.
It's one of the, it was like we got there late enough to where I was like, me quickly say goodbye to you. I didn't even say goodbye to Anastasia. I felt a little bad about it, but I was like, shit.
Yeah. Well, you had to hit the ground running.
Yeah, I was kind of like, let's fucking move. I'm like about to fly through this shit. And like I said, before, like when we started talking about this, got through that shit quick. Got home. Actually got some Super Dog.
Nothing wrong with that.
It was really nice. I haven't had Super Dog in a while, but we were like really close to Super Dog. Like when I got picked up.
Yeah, we basically we ate a Whataburger again, and then we just went home and collapsed essentially.
Yeah.
So that was pretty much the trip.
Yeah, it was a good time.
I don't know. I don't think I'm really missing out on anything.
Other than another one of the console free plays was
Oh right, we played Overcooked 2 on Sunday. Me, you, and Anastasia.
And then now we ended up buying it on PS4.
Yeah, we bought it on PS4. It's got really solid online co-op. We've been playing that. So.
Now I'm just having fun yelling. Just
I
need tomatoes.
Give me the sliced cucumber.
That sliced cucumber, you fool!
I'm over here. I'm plating. I'm cooking rice. Yeah, no, it's.
I'm a one-man chopping and plating machine.
It's been fun, but I think that was pretty much it. Trying to think if there's anything else I really wanted to mention.
I think at the show, I mean, I'm trying to think. I mean, I played that one game. Like, what was it? Fucking Hellpoint or some shit.
Oh right, yeah. I didn't really like it.
It's just another Souls-like, and I'm kind of done with Souls-likes.
Anastasia was the main one who was going. Anastasia really likes to go and play, like, she likes to find booths where there's no line and just, like, hop in and play something. She doesn't really care what it is.
Yeah, I respect that. She played a lot of those, like, random games. There was a game I was like, I wanted to fuck with, but it's like the line was always a little too long. It was that Japanese
World of Horror one?
Yeah, I really wanted to play that, but I'll just wait till it comes out.
I did too, and we actually on Sunday we went up to play it and ended up getting in the wrong line, and I was like, yeah, fuck that.
Yeah, it's over with.
So I was like, you know what? I'll play it when it comes out because it's coming out on Switch. So that was cool. The lady there was really nice. She gave us like the rundown and shit like that, and it looks really interesting. There's a lot of interesting indie games there. A really strong indie presence. There's always a strong indie presence at PAX South. If any PAX organizers, for whatever reason, happen to be listening to this, the only suggestion, and I understand that it's because you guys spaced it so closely due east this year, space them out more. Put PAX South at the either earlier in the month or just space them out more accordingly so we can get more of a AAA presence. Because I think if you had just a slightly stronger AAA presence at the show, I think it would have been really nice. I don't know. That's really my only complaint about it.
Mm-hmm.
Just a little bit more of everything. I don't know. That's pretty much it, though. That's pretty much all I can think of to mention. I think we pretty much covered the trip.
Yeah.
Now we're back home, back to our bullshit. So, yeah. Anything else you want to add before we wrap it up?
I think that's about it, man.
Back to reality, folks. Thanks for listening. We'll catch you next week. Back for your regularly scheduled Nerd Bourbon. Get fucking dunked on. Bye.
See ya.
Hey there, thanks for checking out another fantastic Nerd Bourbon video. If you like what you saw and you want to see more, be sure to go ahead and subscribe, leave us a like, drop us a nice comment, or I guess a mean one if that's your prerogative. But until next time, get dunked on.